All right. Hello, everyone. I am back. This is my first stream by myself. Well, from my channel in 2.5 weeks. I needed to take a break, so I am back. So, welcome, everyone. You guys know where to find me. Twitter.com, Galileo Nuclear. I'll put my link tree in the chat here soon. And today we have a guest to discuss his new book. Roman, would you please introduce yourself today
Hey,
to the audience?
I'm Roman Riva. I'm a professional artist, and recently I had to take a day job because the economy is terrible right now, and people aren't buying as much art as they should. But I have a book out. It is called Dork to Pimp Daddy, and it's very simple. It's anyone who could use their hands and could draw stick figures. I could teach them how to draw like Allie. And it's not that hard. It's just like a bunch of steps that get from point A to point B, and I organize it like a Chilton manual. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's those car manuals that teach you step by step how to fix your car. And they don't leave a single step out, so you don't have to be a mechanic. I'm not a mechanic. Yeah, I could fix a car with a Chilton manual. Same thing with this. You don't have to be an artist, and I can teach you how to draw a beautiful nude woman.
Yeah. Oh, look, you got people already in the chat saying it's a good read and new approach. So you've got some fans. CD Burr, welcome. So, Roman, tell us a little bit about yourself, your life, your background, all that stuff, so people know.
So yeah, I'm an artist. I'm a failed musician. I caught the San Francisco thrash metal scene too late. We started in 1990, and we had a bunch of fans really fast, and the scene just totally died. I was stupid. I went to college, and when I got out of college, music was dead, or at least metal was dead in America. So I probably should have tried to write it out a few more years because it was fun. And yes, we did have groupies. So there's a lot of fun going on. The parties were amazing. But then I became an artist because this girl, Allie, asked me to draw her. And I was already a cartoonist. I had a failed cartoon out. And I thought she meant to draw her as real. I think that she implied as a cartoonist, but I drew her as real and she fell in love with it and really tried to drag me into being an artist. So I'm not an artist by choice. It's because I had cute girls take their clothes off for me, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Everyone in this space seems to have like a really interesting backstory. My backstory is more like a military, Hispanic, kind of grew up in the Puerto Rico and then East Coast of the United States, and then kind of got a lot of my knowledge about life between those two environments. So it's really interesting that from the environment you came from. So what's your ethnicity, by the way? I didn't catch
So yeah, I'm half Filipino and half Italian.
that. Oh, interesting. Very interesting mix there.
So yeah, interesting mix.
So which food do you prefer more, Italian or Filipino food?
Italian by far, and
Yeah.
it's not even close. Italian is, I don't even think it's up for debate. It's one of the top 5 cuisines in the world. It's my personal favorite after American steak.
Oh yeah, steak is good.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like an American steak. There's nothing. And it's like the most underrated cuisine. All you need is like salt, pepper, and a few other spices, and you have the best tasting food in the world. But Italian food is fantastic. Filipino food, there's a reason why you don't see Filipino restaurants.
Yeah, but I do love me some lumpias.
Yes, yes, lumpia is fantastic, and so is adobo. But
Yeah.
other than those two foods, there's really not that much.
Okay. Yeah. My first language was Italian because my dad was stationed in Italy when I was a kid in Sardinia. He was stationed out there,
Wow.
so I picked up Italian faster than English because I played with the boys, local kids. So I picked it up faster, but I forgot it when I came back to the United States. But yeah, my mom learned a lot of Italian. Like she learned how to cook a lot of Italian food back there in Italy, and she learned how to make her own pasta and all that stuff. And she learned how to shop for food and locally. But yeah, it's really nice. Italy is really nice, and the food is really good. And the interesting thing too is that pizza here and the way they do pizza there is two different things. Like pizza there is an actual food. Here it's like fast food. Um, it's very interesting. So yeah, Italian cuisine is pretty good. But also the Mediterranean sun there is very different from the sun here. Like there it's like toasty and nice. Here it just burns you.
Yeah.
It just feels different. So yeah, it's very it's a pretty cool place. Okay, so you're half Filipino, half Italian. Um, so I didn't know, are you married? Do you have kids or anything like that?
Yeah, married forever. My kid is almost 30.
Okay.
So I mean, we had him out of wedlock. He's a
Mhm.
surprise. And funny thing is, she calls him up and says, "Hey, Roman." Like,
Mhm.
yeah. This is and her name. Like, yeah. And kind of implied, "You're a dad." Like, what? So it was kind of weird. So I got together with her and we just started talking because she's a fling. I was cheating on my girlfriend at the time,
Wow.
and we started talking and we started getting along. And I tried to make it work because I mean this is my kid, and when you see your own eyes in someone else, everything changes. And
Mhm.
like this is my kid, I got to be responsible for him.
Mhm.
And at the time, I was a total player, just a totally irresponsible person. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Is I'm being very clear. I think that a lot of men have to go through the stage. It's
Mhm.
just one of those things you have to sow your wild oats.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we ended up getting along, and when he was 6, yeah, when he was 6, we finally got married.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it worked out for you. So, question for you.
Sure.
Since you're married, and I just wanted to ask you, like, how do you see the dating market now from your position? What would you give advice to an 18-year-old that's just about to hit the floor, just discovered girls, like he's out there? What would be your top 3 pieces of advice for him?
Okay, so focus on yourself first,
Mhm.
because the more interesting a man is, the more attractive he is.
Mhm.
So become more interesting. The second thing is have very strong male friendships. This is counterintuitive, but it totally makes sense. Hear me out here. Have very strong male friendships and some that are fun people, because when women see you with other men and you're cool with other men, that makes you more attractive by far.
Mhm.
Like one of the most successful runs I've had with girls is when I was on the inside of a club with the in circle in the club, and girls would actually come to us, not the other way around, because we were the cool kids. So it's really important to build your inner male circle. And the
Yeah.
third piece of advice is you hold more cards than you think. And on Twitter, everybody thinks that girls hold all the cards. That's a bunch of bull. It really is. Guys have a lot more power than you think, and you can say no to women.
Yeah.
And no, when you see a man say no to a woman, it they flip out. It's just
Mhm.
like it's like getting kicked in the nuts, equivalent. It's just the
Yeah.
one thing they don't want to hear.
Yeah, that makes them go a little crazy. Like they've been told their whole life yes, and you're like probably the first or second guy their whole life has ever told them no. So they just don't know how to act when that happens.
Oh yeah, yeah. So no is very powerful. To say
Yeah,
it, guys.
yeah. I think the power of abundance and having options. Um, it's not like you'll have to. And the funny thing is that once you have abundance, you don't have to like what do you call it? You don't have to use discipline to say no. You just say no because like, hey, I got laid yesterday. I have to work tomorrow early. I'm just not in the mood. I'm not in the mood to socialize today. I just want to stay in with my dog and just watch a movie or something. Like a guy that has no abundance or no options will have to say yes. Like, and even if he wanted to say no, he still has to say yes. So it's not something that comes. Yeah, it has to come. That no has to come naturally. Because if it doesn't, it's gonna be very painful for you to say no to a pretty girl. But yeah, I totally understand and I totally agree with that. So Yeah. So when did you come into Twitter? Like, when did you come to this whole Twitter mess that we're all dealing with right now?
I
That we're all
think I
having
came
fun with?
in. Yeah, I think I came in around 2016 or 2017, and then I got
Yeah.
banned. And when did I get banned? In 2020 or 2021. And
Hmm.
I had a really successful account. I had thousands of followers and everything. It just got banned for. I'm not sure exactly what it was for,
Hmm.
but then I'm coming back again because I want to sell my art and do other things. And plus, it's like so many of the cool kids are on Twitter. I still know a lot of people who were there before.
Yeah. I've been on Twitter since 2013 ish.
Oh
2000.
wow.
Yeah, but I posted a lot. It just never got traction until 2020 is when I started really people started noticing my account. Yeah, so yeah, and I look back and there was some really good stuff that I tweeted. I'm like, wow, this is a pretty good tweet, but like no, like it's all about like who sees it, and
Mhm.
so for people that are trying to grow on Twitter, just keep tweeting. Eventually, people are going to start paying attention, but you have to be consistent and you have to be. And I'd say that in this space, the biggest issue is the lack of creativity. Everyone wants to be like everyone else. No one has an original thought. Obviously, there's things that you can't like make up, but it seems like when people are creating brands or accounts and stuff, they're just a copy of someone else. They don't really have a lot of individual thoughts. Their minds are captured by the current political landscape or the current, whatever everyone's thinking or feeling. So um, I decided to be like, hey, at this point, I already know who I am. I've been through it all. I understand, and to be honest with you, until I wrote that thread, I thought everyone we were all in the same boat. I thought everyone was out here dating and like their takes were like legit. And then I wrote it and I realized like, holy crap, most people aren't even touching grass. They're talking about dating, and not only dating, life politics, world politics, everything in the abstract. Like nothing is like real to them. Like the internet is like this abstract way of viewing through life. And I just realized like, wait a minute, so you're saying for the last 3 years I've been dating aggressively and learning about life, and no one else is like, most people aren't. Like I thought everyone was out here, and I guess I was wrong. So now I feel like, okay, well, cool. Now I get to make fun of everyone that's been wasting their time inside since the pandemic, and because I decided to live, and live my life and be out there. So um I don't know how you found me, but I think I was introduced to you through either Rob or Jack or somebody, and then I just followed your account and all that stuff. So, and I knew you did art and all that stuff. So, talk to us about your art. How'd you get into it? I know you said you've always been an artist, but like, when did you start drawing the girls? I know you mentioned Allie is the first
Yeah,
girl you ever drew.
yeah. Allie was the first. So
Okay,
yeah,
so
funny
how did that
thing
work?
was
How did that start?
I was a cartoonist. I had this great idea for a cartoon, and
Hmm.
I tried to sell it, but the sales guy that I hired was a piece of crap. He's just
Hmm.
a completely unethical person, and the cartoon went nowhere, which is
Hmm.
really sad because it was a fantastic idea. It was. You ever heard of the TV show Grimm?
Rings a
G
bell,
R,
but no.
yeah, Grimm, like the Grimm brothers.
It rings a bell, but no, I don't think I've seen that.
Okay, well, it was based off the Grimm brothers. Uh,
Okay.
I wrote that TV show before that TV show existed. That's exactly what Opium Tales was.
Oh.
And
Is
then
that what
years,
you named their cartoon, is Opium Tales? That's
yeah,
your
it was
username.
Opium Tales
Oh,
was
okay.
the cartoon,
Okay, cool.
and so I went to sell it and it never sold. So it was really unfortunate. So when you have a skill, you don't lose it. I was a cartoonist, and years later, it's 2017. I was talking to a friend of mine, and went to her work. Um, or okay, let me say this correctly. So I went to with a friend of mine to her work and saw this absolutely a gorgeous young blonde,
Mm.
and she was so good looking. It's like I'm a former player. There's no way I'm not going to talk to her. So I
It's
just
our
started talking to her,
responsibility. Yeah.
and I ended up getting closer to her than my friend, and that was Allie, by the way.
Okay.
So 1 year later, it came up that we're doing cartoons, and then she said to draw her, so I drew her, and geez, was it a few months after that? She's naked in my bed and I'm drawing her nude. So Roxy, who was a friend of mine and my wife's, saw my drawings and then asked me to draw her too. And which is funny because Roxy is very conservative, like really, really conservative. So it's kind of weird just to see this very conservative girl nude too. And after them, I just kept on drawing. Sophia is my third, and she was actually a professional model. She was the first professional model we've had. But let me rewind a bit. Alan and Roxy are not professional models, and the way that they learn modeling is through a Gil Elfgren book. He's one of the pinup artists from the 40s and 50s.
Oh, okay.
So we were stealing his poses and doing exactly just straight from the book. And then we stole a bunch of other stuff. Like you've seen those World War II, or actually you probably like them. The World War II airplanes that have the girls on them.
Oh yeah, that kind of art. Yeah.
Yeah. We stole those poses and just anything we could find. So that's how they learned how to model.
Okay, that's interesting. So these two girls, do they still model for you? I'm gonna say yes, right? They still model for you?
They do. They're both moms, so it's kind of secondary now. You know, it's now they're both stay-at-home moms. Their husbands, you know, make enough money that they don't really need to work, and but they'll still model every once in a while. And we're very close. We're close to both families. Okay. So, and this is the thing: when you have a female friend, you're secondary. The husband comes first.
Right.
So you better get along with them, or else you're completely out. So, needless to say, I get along great with their husbands.
Okay, that's good. That's very interesting. So have you found other women to draw, or you just draw these women?
Sophia's my third. My fourth was Diana, I think Diana was my fourth in Romania. And I found Sophia and Diana both through Instagram. I have this crappy Instagram account. Don't even go look for it. It's just complete garbage. Okay. And the only thing I use it for is to meet girls. And that's it. So every once in a while, I find a really cute girl on there and then I her and say, hey, my Riva, I want to draw you. And, you know, it's either yes or no. But then I also have Celeste and Katie. Katie's my only Texas model.
Okay.
Katie was North Texas bikini champion.
Wow. So she looks good naked.
Yeah. Oh, she looks fantastic naked. She's also a weightlifter too. So she's got a butt like you can't. So
she's in really good shape. Yeah.
Sounds
like she's in really good shape. And I'm guessing these are nice people, like very, very nice gals, like very polite.
You know, I'm really glad you said that. I've had probably 24 models before, and I've only drawn or painted 6, and there's a reason for that. If I don't get along with the girl, they're out. That's it. And this is another reason why I really recommend guys learn art, because you'll have an abundance mindset. It's you who's the artist, not her. If you have a problem with her, she's out.
Yeah.
And you replace her with someone else. So I've had to deal with, I don't want to say any bad words on this channel, but, you know, female dogs, good looking, but their attitudes. Yeah. And it's like, if you give me attitude, you're out. Yeah. But that's the beauty of it. You're the artist, not her. So it's about you.
Yeah. So, you know, art takes many forms. Like I personally, obviously I like playing music and I like to dance and all that stuff. But there are just some people that don't respect or understand art at all, and they just think like it's some kind of business first and then creativity second. So the other day, and this really almost ruined my night. I took a girl out salsa dancing to this like really nice underground like speakeasy / bar, and my friend, he DJs there, and he you know, he puts on salsa, bachata, merengue, all this stuff. And, you know, we go in and we're dancing and all that stuff, having a great time. And there's this circle of girls that are just in a circle on the dance floor. Like in Latin dancing, that's a no-no. You don't stand in the floor in a circle. That's for the club, you know? So I see them and I'm like, I'm not gonna say, hey, get off the dance floor, but you know, everyone's bumping into each other, and that's normal for Latin dance night because we're just all dancing. It's like normal We say excuse me, or we just ignore it or whatever. It's normal, right? These girls, I bump into them barely once, and she looks at me and she says, "Hey, we were dancing here." I'm just like, "You don't understand. Like, you're just standing there. You think this is a club. You're waiting for guys to hit on you so you can get free drinks. You see everyone else is dancing, even the people that don't know how to dance from other cultures. There was Indians, all types of Asians, all types of Hispanics, white people, black people. Everyone's dancing, but you guys, and you guys are in a circle on the floor and doing nothing." So I just gave them a thumbs up and I laughed in their face and I kept dancing. And then eventually they kept like trying to push me away while I was dancing with the girl. Right. And that's just like that solipsism, like me, what about, versus like, hey, you not see what's going on down? People are like, damn, this is art. Like people are performing, right? Like as a man, I have to perform on the dance floor and you're just there thinking it's all about you. I'm like, no, no one here is the center of attention. Everyone is just dancing to dance, and it's a connection between two people dancing, right? And a lot of people don't understand that. Like they don't understand that what art is supposed to do. They listen to music, and their first thing is, I gotta garner attention. Meanwhile, like very rarely do you see a couple on the dance floor where everyone's looking at them and only them. Everyone is just dancing in their own world, which is really good because guys have all these reasons why they don't want to learn how to dance. And I understand, rhythm. I don't have rhythm. I just don't like it, whatever. But if you give it a shot, right, you'll learn that you'll have a premise to ask a beautiful girl how to dance. So you have that escalation, that touch, and also you'll realize that you even if you're not good, you can still have a good time, right? And no one cares. No one is like looking at you unless you're like pulling the girl's arm out of her socket or something like that. No one cares. Everyone is in their own world. The girl will say thank you, and you realize like all of this abstract thinking on Twitter that people have about relationships is all in their head. It's all online. They have never asked a beautiful girl how to dance. They've never drawn a naked woman. They just live in their head. And now I have to wake up to texts about this and that. Just now we were having a conversation. Someone said that my ex cheated on me because 1 month in, she went to a girls trip that was already planned to New York, where she was texting me all day, calling me twice a day, right? And she's like, "Oh, she was just cheating in between calling sessions." I'm like, "What do these people do every day?" Like, have you talked to a woman once in your life? Have you interacted with women once, dude? Like, women just aren't cheating 24/7. Obviously, there's things where you should investigate or just kind of like raise your eyebrow. But for the most part, dude, like, what is wrong with these people? And I know you see it. What is your opinion on these people that just constantly talked about relationships in the abstract? What would be your advice to them?
They do not live in reality.
Yeah.
Reality is very different. That I would tell those people to get outside and interact with people more.
Yeah.
Not all women are wicked. There are honest women. There are women who will not cheat. And there are also ride or die women. My wife is a ride or die woman from the very beginning. It's like when we married, our net worth was less than $1,000. When we met, our net worth or my net worth was less than $100. I was completely broke. I was a day laborer when we met. Doing physical labor. I was taking sand, cement, clay, and water, mixing them together, bringing buckets from point A to point B, and then going back and mixing again and bringing buckets from point A to point B. And I was
doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah, I was moving furniture. I was a complete day laborer. So all these, oh, you need to make six figures. You need to be 6 feet tall. I'm 5'3", and I show you. Well, actually, you'll meet my wife. She's almost 5'10". And she's a redhead. She's good looking. Yeah, I'm 5'3". Never had problems with women. Never. And that's the thing that people don't understand, because they have these things that are all in their head and they believe it. And that's it's unreal. Like I know exactly what you're referring to. I saw that tweet, and she was not cheating on you. If she's texting you all the time, she's thinking about you. She's not thinking about someone else.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, even if she was, I'm not gonna waste my whole day trying to investigate. We're a month into like I just met
Mhm.
her. Like I'm not gonna be like drop all the things I'm doing, you know, just to make sure that she is loyal. Like I just met her, right? Part of the vetting process is like when you're meeting a girl is you got to realize that you can't control them. Like you can't control outcome. People are so outcome dependent. What you do is like, hey, you know, women like to have sex. If she's out having sex, then she's gonna do it regardless whether I'm who I am or what I do, whatever I do, it doesn't matter. I don't control the universe just because just because she likes me. So just let her do what she has to do. But I never got the feeling, she's out there sucking dick, you know,
Mhm.
for like twice a day between calls. I don't get that. Like I have better things to worry about. Like a lot of guys don't understand too that you can't live in this anxiety that your girl's cheating. You have better things to do. The day that you find out, or if you never find out, it's still not your problem. If you find out she cheats, then it's easy. It's like a problem that's already solved. You let her go. Like there's nothing else you can do. There's no like other solution. You just let her go. And the relationship for the most part is her problem. You don't worry about it. You move on with your life. Obviously, if there's obvious signs, then you should probably, look into it and all that stuff. But like for the most part, a lot of guys they miss the nuance. They don't understand what genuine burning desire is. They've never had a girl like them so much that they solve their hypergamous doubt. Like they
Mhm.
don't understand that. So when they see a guy that's just so relaxed around women, doing their own thing in their life, they like, it reminds them of their own failures with women. And I'm like, that's okay, dude. That's okay. You're a human being. Some women will cheat on you in life, and it's you weren't prepared for it. You didn't understand women at the time, so it hurt, and you are totally entitled to your frustration, to your anger, to your sadness. You're totally entitled, but you can't stay there forever. You have to move on. You have to understand, learn the things that you could have done better outside of the relationship. Like maybe you were too nagging and controlling as a man. Like you thought,
Mhm.
maybe you weren't attractive. Maybe you just were boring. Maybe you just, you know, were a boring dude. And then you learn and you realize like, oh, next time, you had covert contracts. Like right now, these guys are like, oh, she has to not drink because if she drinks and she's, like this fake boundary, we're like, oh, I can't drink because if I do, I might cheat on you. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me, right?
Mhm.
What means something to me is, um, you like me so much that every other guy's invisible. That's what I care about. Like, um, most people won't cheat if they really like someone else. I would say 99% of people won't cheat if they're in love with somebody, truly in love, unless they're like completely unconscious and drugged up to the point where they don't even know their name, which
Mhm.
doesn't happen either. Like you have to be you probably won't be able to be conscious enough to walk at that point. You'll probably be in a hospital by then. So, but yeah, it's just like this abstract thinking about relationships. And sometimes I feel, and I don't know if you feel this too. Like I feel like there are two classes of men when it comes to women, men that talk about women in the abstract, and then men that have been out there and dated women and understand them enough where they're like, yeah, this is true, but here's the exception, or here's what it could be. There is no sure outcome, and that's a lot of people too. They're so addicted to a sure thing, a sure outcome. So sometimes they won't even get in a relationship with a good girl, or girls won't get in a relationship with a good guy because, oh, what if he cheats? I'm like, that's the dumbest thing ever. It's like getting into a car. It's like, what if I crash today? It's like you might crash, but you still have to go to work. You still have to go places. You
So
just,
I have a theory.
yeah,
I think that these people you're talking about had. You ever heard the term bulldozer parents?
bulldozer. No, I heard of helicopter parents, but not.
Okay, so helicopter parents are bad. They're the ones that hover around their kids all the time and never give them any space.
Yeah,
So
my
the kid,
parents. Yeah.
yeah, the kid doesn't learn to do anything on his own. And the absolute best thing to do if you're a child from helicopter parents,
Hmm.
get into the military
Yeah, that's what I
because
did. Yeah,
yeah, the
it was great.
military will teach you how to be self-sufficient,
Hmm.
and it will throw away all the helicopter crap. So all that helicopter stuff will be undone. Well, not
Hmm.
entirely, but for the most part, undone. You learn how to do things on your own.
Hmm.
Now, bulldozer parents are even worse. Is everybody's got problems, right? A bulldozer parent will actually bulldoze their kids' problems, solve the problems for them. Like for instance, you're a teacher, and you give a C to this kid because he didn't do anything, and the parent gets in your face and it's like, man, I'm gonna take you out and stab you unless you give him a B. That's a bulldozer parent. I mean, that's an extreme example, but that's a bulldozer parent. They're the ones who fix all their problems for them. So the kid never learns how to do anything on the, or not only a helicopter parent where they don't learn how to do anything on their own, they never learn how to fix anything on their own. So they'll have that same attitude with women, that what if this happens? What if this happens? Well, what if this happens? Well, then what would this happen? And they flip out. It's like, dude, chill.
Yeah.
But it's because they never learn that. They think of every single thing that could go wrong because they're used to their parents fixing their problems for them.
Yeah. It just creates like, and people don't have outcome independence, and people don't have the right mental models to deal with extreme situations like that. Like no one's saying that getting cheated on is not painful. No one's saying that it could cause you distress. But at the same time, like, you, first off, I want my wife or my girlfriend to choose me every day. I don't want her to be with me out of obligation. I never want that, you know. Obviously there's going to be times where there's going to be a rough patch, but to me a rough patch is like 1 or 2 weeks, maybe a month, right? Not years, you know, not years. I don't think anything above 2 months of a rough patch is where you, I think that person is not for you, right? But there is extenuating circumstances, but for the most part, um yeah, I just feel like there's this covert contract where a lot of guys are afraid of the amount of abundance women have. And so their only solution, instead of becoming attractive, becoming the person that you know that is the most attractive version of themselves, is too hard. So what they do is they go to the other option, which is controlling the women so they don't cheat or err from her path, from the path of being, you know. And it's like what Archwinger says. It's like, hey, just because you're the first guy to cross her path and be her boyfriend, and you do nothing wrong, it doesn't mean that you're entitled to her for the rest of your life. You know, you still have to become a better person. You still have to be attractive. You know, and a lot of guys think that, like, they still live in that feminine kind of like Disney fantasy where I am, therefore I have to be loved. And I'm like, listen, man, it doesn't matter. You have to be outcome independent. Like, a woman loving you doesn't define you as a man, right? Women will fall in love with you throughout the course of your life. There will be women that will fall in love with you for 2 months and then they're gone. Some women will probably fall in love with you with 20 years. You don't know. You know, we're so addicted to forever that, you know, we forget about today. And that's where the phrase comes from. Um, she's not yours, it's just your turn. And a lot of people hate that. Women hate that. The traditional conservatives hate that. But if we break down that phrase, it's basically saying, in a more poetic way. I put it in a poetic way, like, right, she can leave you at any time. So enjoy what you have today, because tomorrow she may be like, yeah, screw you, I don't want to be with you. You know, it's a little extreme. Usually it doesn't work like that. There's usually like a nice decline before you break up or something. But you enjoy what you have because she can leave at any moment. And another thing is, like, women are not property. You, like, if a woman leaves you, you can't call the cops and be like, hey, my woman's gone, go find her. Like, they're not property, so you can't treat them as such. So what does that leave you? There's no consequences for a woman leaving you. Maybe if there's a divorce, but it's going to be a very painful, long drawn process, right? But for the most part, there's no consequences for women leaving you. So at the end of the day, what way of thinking can you do as a man so you don't lose your mind and live in fear that your wife's leaving you? You have to say things like, hey, you can't go have a drink with your friends, because if you do, you're going to hop on the guy next to you's dick and have sex, like, immediately. Like, obviously, I wouldn't be cool with my wife or my girlfriend going to Miami or, halfway across the world. But, there's a nuance to this. Like, if she wants to go have brunch with her friends, I'm not gonna be like, nah, you slut. You're gonna stay home, and I'm not. That's not me. And I never. And if she does do something, and I find out relationship's over, and she knows that. Like, she played herself. Like, I'm the prize. You played yourself. Go be single. Enjoy the streets again, right? Or maybe I just wasn't attractive enough. Maybe I let myself go, or I'm just boring, or whatever. Either way, we did each other a favor, right?
Yeah.
I know
Well,
it's not what people want to hear, but it's just like you have to think above your own ego and your own emotions, and be very pragmatic about these things. So.
I think one of the things that the red pill gets right is if you want to be more attractive, a woman become better. And they really stress that. And that's the way that guys should think anyways. It's like chicks are by default, guys are attracted to them, right? Now, men have to actually up their game in order to be attractive to women. That's a good thing. And that's what a lot of guys complain about. It's like, oh, it's not fair. It's like, no, it's great. It's a great thing that guys have because it forces you to be a better man. Like to be honest, I became a musician to get laid. Is there anything wrong with that? The side effect, I became a dang good musician. You've seen me play.
Mm-hmm.
So, I could play. And I don't play piano as well as you can, but, I'm still pretty good on the piano as well. And that's to impress chicks. But that's a good motivator. That makes you better at a bunch of things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, get in physical shape, learn to dance. I cannot stress how awesome dancing is. You meet, I don't even like country music. No offense to anyone who likes country, but I don't like the music. However, I've never had as much fun dancing as in a country bar.
Yeah, the two-step, it looks so much fun.
Oh my God, it's so much fun. Yeah, and the people in country bars are fantastic. I had so much great conversation. That's why I drink old fashions today, because the first time we took the line dancing lessons, they're like, "What's good for a country bar?" It's like, just drink an old fashioned. Like, what's that? I'm like, I'll make it for you.
Yeah, that's my favorite drink. I made one last night.
Yeah, and it's stuck, and that's what I drink now because of country bars, even though I don't like the music. But the people are cool. Katie is a country dancer. She gets all countryed out. She's a country girl, and she's got
and they dress the part too.
Yeah,
they dress the part. The women look really cute with their cowboy hats and the boots and all that stuff. So, yeah, like I said, you have to live your life. Being online a lot, it will trick you into thinking things that aren't real. I want to do a show on like the invisible enemies of men that we think that are enemies, right? We like to say, like, for example, here's one, like the OnlyFans girl. Oh, she's they're destroying America and destroying our, like, there's like 2 million creators worldwide, right? Am I something like that?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
And how many people are in this? And that's worldwide. I mean, that's not only United States. That's every single country on earth. There's 2 million creators. So, what are the chances that you'll ever even meet one? You have to be really out there. I dated 2, and what's funny? I think I was telling my brother this or a couple of days ago. Excuse me. Is that, let's say you're dating a girl 6 months in, or a month in, or first date, she says it. Everyone thinks that the number one feeling you feel when you find out your girl sells, or pictures of herself on the internet, is jealousy or like disgust. You know what the number one feeling I felt for both times was? Cringe. I was like, oh, like, really? Like, I thought it was I thought it was the dorkiest, kind of like cringiest thing a girl could do, right? For like, a lot of guys need to understand this, that like, you'll find out a girl does OnlyFans and it won't be like anger or jealousy or anything. You'll feel cringe, because when you're on the other side of that, when you're actually sleeping with a girl who does this, some of them will be like, I don't want you to see my pictures. You know why? Because they're kind of embarrassed. They like you and they don't want you to see that side of them. Or they'll offer it and you're gonna be like, I don't know, I'm good. Like, like, I don't care. Obviously, these women, I did it casually, but like, just to let you guys know, you will feel cringe if you ever date a girl who does this stuff. It's just cringe. I'm telling you, it's hard to explain, but you're just gonna be like, Yeah, really cool. And it's just like, you know, it's an invisible enemy. No, OnlyFans girls aren't destroying the dating scene. You know, they're not destroying America. They're not destroying. There's not enough of them to go around, and most of them can't even pay their rent. Can't
Yeah,
even buy groceries. And you know, and the
I've
thing is,
known.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've known quite a few girls who had it, and I've only known two ones
Hmm.
who actually make money with it.
Okay.
And one of them makes a lot of money. Sophia makes a lot of money with it.
Okay.
But then again, she's an established B movie actress. She's died like dozens of times. You know,
Oh,
in those.
in movies. Okay.
Yeah, she's one of those slash girl. Like I forgot because like several of my models actually did B movie acting,
Hmm.
and I forgot if it was Sophia or it was Jin who's like bragging that she finally killed somebody.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
because she's usually on the other side of being killed.
yeah. Well, like there's a difference between like here's what I got to say about that. Um I don't think it's not cool. I don't care. But when
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's cool at all. Like I'm not like impressed.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the crazy thing, right? As you delve deeper into this, because when I date in the last 3 years of me dating, I'm kind of like don't really date that much anymore. But like in the last 3 years of me dating, I have found out so much about women that it was like when Moses got touched by God, like there's this kind of like experience that it was so much that it almost made me not crazy, but it just messed with my mental health. And it wasn't all the sex, or it was just listening to women's lives and their problems and their backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say people that are obsessed with this revenge fantasy that women are gonna get theirs, the OnlyFans models are gonna get theirs, all this blah blah are gonna get theirs. I'm telling you right now, a lot of you are getting a revenge fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not gonna be happy. It's not gonna make you feel good, right? I used to watch all the red meat shows back in 2020 because when it was new and everyone was like, oh, and I thought it was funny, but I was still hitting the ground running. But I thought for me it was entertainment. It wasn't until later till I find out that people are really, really like into this stuff because they're not having any success. They're not even trying, and this is their way out. This is like their this is like a sedation. It's like a catharsis for them.
Yeah.
And I used to watch them just like, they kicked this girl off, and me and my brother would laugh, but it wasn't like, oh, it was just like, it's just like watching Howard Stern or Maury or something like that, where you'd watch it with your dad and laugh, even though it might have been staged, but like you laugh because you see some silly person get kicked off. It was like
Mm-hmm.
kayfabe, it was a show, right? That's how I saw it. But there's some people that are like they think that this is changing the culture, and that's another thing. Now they've positioned these invisible enemies, and um, like now I'm an invisible enemy, a guy that goes out and dates, and a person, like I'm a player now that's ruining, that's licking all the ice cream. And you at one point were the same, and we're the ones that destroyed the West and destroyed dating because we decided to go out there and meet women. It's just like, no, and again, you're doing this thing where you're doing everything but doing the work yourself. You're
Mm-hmm.
blaming women, you're blaming men, you're blaming politicians. I'm like, look, yes, there's inflation. It sucks, but there's no Dust Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's a possible war on the horizon, but it's not World War II. You know,
Mm-hmm.
things have been better than they've ever been, and
Yes.
yes, women are more difficult, but I can turn off the lights in my apartment by saying 3 words. Like
Mm-hmm.
technology has made life better, but it made women a little bit more difficult. So we just got to live with this problem. There's nothing you can do. There are trade offs. And one of the trade offs that you didn't sign up for was the best technology ever, amazing technology, godlike powers. But women are going to be a little more difficult because they also have access to millions of people. And, they just gonna their standards are higher. So
Mm-hmm.
and then within that, you have guys like us that can give advice because we've cracked the code, so to speak. And you just got to do a little work, man. Like now, instead of playing more video games, 1 hour less of video games and 1 hour more of socializing and living your life. So, what do you think about that?
So in my last newsletter, I said 10 things about women in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, women have a lot more options. They also have more money than they've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
So money doesn't impress women as much as it used to. The other thing that doesn't is woman now likes stable men. That was not something that was sexy back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot sexier now than it was back then. So a lot of changes.
Yeah.
So a guy who could keep his cool, and the lone wolf thing is kind of gone. You know, like lone wolf nowadays is kind of seen as weird,
Mm-hmm.
whereas it was kind of cool in the 80s, but today not so much. Things change, and you just have to adapt. So a lot of the things that I would have said in the 80s doesn't work today. You
Yeah.
have to change with the times.
You have to adapt, or else
Um,
just get left in the dust. Yeah.
you need to learn to talk. Women are humans, and their weakness is talking. And just same with men. You know, it's just like if you want to get a really good job, talk. If you want to attract a really good woman, talk. If you want to have really cool friends, talk. You really have to learn speech. And that's
Yeah.
one thing that a lot of people aren't doing. It's like when they say, yeah, okay, I just saw Ocean Man's thing pop up. I'm not joined or logged into the chat, so I can't really reply. But yeah, the lone wolves went extinct, which is true. It's they just don't do so well anymore. But yeah, you really have to learn to talk, build a network of friends, and another way to meet girls is through your friends. I have one guy that I know. He's younger. He's just like around your age, and he doesn't even go out meeting girls. His friends set him up because everybody likes him. He's just he's that one guy that everyone in the group likes, and most of his girlfriends have come from his friends.
Mm-hmm.
So networks are extremely important today. I can't stress
Yeah.
that enough. Build a
Yeah.
network, people.
Yeah. So yeah, meet people, get out there. Um, be like be aggressive in terms of your. If you're gonna do this dating thing, don't half-ass it. Be full. Give it at least for the first 6 months. Let your check your ego in at the door. You're not that special. You ain't shit. Trust me. I still get stood up. You know, Problem is I have contingencies for that. I usually don't get ready and get dressed until she's like, I'm 5 minutes away because I usually plan the date 5 minutes away from where I live walking. So it's just like, if she flakes, I'm just like still in my pajamas. I'll be like, okay, cool. I'm back to watching TV or something. But yeah, um, there's so much things that to convince you not to try, and realize that the people telling you not to try are trying to convince you how hard it is. They're either doing it out of like intersexual competition. They want to,
Mm-hmm.
I have all the women, you're not going to get the women, or they also failed, so they want you to fail. The crabs in a
Mm-hmm.
bucket mentality, right? No one's saying this stuff's easy. I find it very difficult, and you are allowed to be mad. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to be mad at women. You're allowed to be mad. I get frustrated with women all the time. If a girl stands you up, that's not like, you're not supposed to brush it off like, yeah, it's whatever. When you get to my level, it's like, oh, awesome. I get the night to myself, right? But at the beginning, you're allowed to feel your emotions. And you're allowed to like try to make sense of them, right? But you just can't stay there forever. You need to move on. If it's been 2 years and you're still watching these podcasts of Red Meat podcast for like anything out of entertainment, like to feel like you're getting validated for your views on women, then you're just stuck. You're gonna keep spinning your wheels, and you're not going to go anywhere in life in general, because there's this heavy weight on your back, this anger, this rage you feel, and everyone goes through it when you know the red pill rage phase. But you can't stay there forever. You get through it. You feel it, and then 6 months, a year, you move on with your life and you start dating again, and you realize like, hey, it wasn't that I was mad at women. It was just that I was mad at being lied to, that I was so gullible and I just didn't get it. And you don't want to be the guy that would spend years being mad at women and then one day get over it, and you wasted years being mad at women instead of just being happy and doing your own thing. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be that guy, because that's sad. You're not going to get that time back. So, yeah.
And that's the thing, is when you have free time, build skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, if you get stood up, you have the piano and you just get better and better at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love your random piano playing. It's funny because when you play, I recognize about half the stuff that you play, and half of it's
Yeah.
like I've never heard this before.
Yeah, I just have a crazy, crazy, crazy mix there. Whatever I like.
But yeah, every skill set that you learn is interesting to some woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, I do spoken word, and that attracts girls with triple digit IQs. So
Oh.
most of the girls that were at the spoken word recitals were very smart girls. So if you're looking for a type, you could find them by things to do. If you want to find active girls, go hiking and join some kind of a hiking club.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing, is that you could always meet the type of girls that you want to meet by uh, finding the different circles. There's always different circles out there.
Yeah, and like a lot of guys, they have this ego for a lot of things that they're too good to do things.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see this like outside talking about dancing or post a video of me dancing with a beautiful girl or something, and they're like, "Oh, dancing is gay." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, look how gay I look, you know."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Super. Like I am dancing with gorgeous gals, and sometimes taking her back to my place.
Mm-hmm.
So gay. That is the gayest thing, gayest thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard.
No, that's a
Or
cope.
yeah, or you'll tell them like, like when people that are online a lot, they have this thing where they're more intelligent than everyone and they're too good to hang out with
Mm-hmm.
normies. Everyone is a normie, and I'm like, dude, we're all normies, like relax. You're not above socializing. So if you like something, if you like to hike, don't hike alone, hike with people.
Mm-hmm.
If you like to do sports, there's plenty of sports teams and clubs, and do that. If you like nerdy hobbies, there's something for everyone. Find your tribe, and within that tribe, you're gonna realize like, man, I really needed to get over myself. I ain't that special. I'm not some super genius that's too good for society, that's tweeting from my comfortable computer where I can change the temperature of my apartment with the sound of my voice, that the world is ending and that the country is going to shit. Meanwhile, down the street, there's beautiful women at a bar dancing salsa, but you just tweeted, "Hey, salsa is gay," and that could have been you down there,
Yeah.
dancing with him. And that's the sad reality, that it doesn't, not even salsa, it could be anything, right? And a lot of guys too is the opposite, where they try so hard to be masculine and macho and attractive that they forget about the things that they actually like to do. Like, hey, if you
Mm-hmm.
like nerdy hobbies, do them too. Like, you're not qualified. Your life isn't made to make women happy. It's to make yourself happy, right? Realize that a lot of the women I dated, especially last year, one of them was better than me at Mario Kart. Never talked
Oh
about it.
wow.
One day we turned on Mario Kart,
Mm-hmm.
and she was just like laughing and giggling, and I'm just leaning forward, like
Mm-hmm.
trying to take every turn perfectly, and she's just giggling, and we're just like this. And I'm like, what the heck? This 26-year-old girl is just like, and she's like, I don't know, I used to play a lot. I'm like, what the heck? This is my game. Like, what? And then I dated another girl who, she was a concert violinist. She
Mm.
cooked. She went to culinary school. She was a great cook, very smart. I'm pretty sure she was smarter than me. She did a whole dinner party, invited all her friends just to prove to me how good she was at doing dinner parties. Like, I'm going to show you, right? I'm sad I let her go. But then one day we turned on Super Smash Brothers, and she was Princess Peach and I was Bowser. And man, that was tough. I think it was like 3-2 on her favor. She whooped my ass a couple times, and we went toe to toe. And I'm just saying, like, when you live in reality, I say these stories online and people are like, oh, no way, or like, oh man, it's just because this is like, no, dude, get out there. You'll be surprised what you find. Yes, the fundamentals of intersectional dynamics and human behavior still apply, right? But once you start getting to know people and you feel comfortable, you're not tweeting, oh, she's fucking other dudes in between phone calls, dude. And I'm like, what the heck? What? What? That doesn't make sense, dude. So I'm begging guys to like get out there and look stupid. I look stupid every week. I promise you, I get rejected more than everyone, and not rejected by pretty girls. I go out to dance sometimes, and I say, hey, let's dance. And this ugly girl, ugly, short, overweight girl look at me like, no, like that same expression, and then 5 minutes later they're dancing with another guy, right? If I had an ego, I'd be like, fuck this place, and I just go home, right? I'd be like, okay, cool, and then I dance with another girl, and I just keep going. And guess what? At the end of the night, I've danced with 6 girls instead of going home because one little chubby girl didn't like me. And it's just like, man, I wish guys can learn that. That's like the number one skill: outcome independence, aloofness, don't care, whatever, your loss, and move on.
So I have a dance story that I got to tell you.
Yeah.
So we used to live in Silicon Valley, and I actually knew some people who were kind of big over there. Anyways, we crashed one of these Silicon Valley parties, and I'm dancing with my wife, and this Indian guy comes up to me, and he has no idea that we're married, and he just sees this short Asian guy with like a tall, hot, redheaded white girl. So he's like, dude, you have to teach me how to dance. And it's like, this is how easy dancing is. I'm like, okay, take your hand, and you hear the beat. Just count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now snap to the beat. 2, 3, 4. And then I said, okay, good. You got that down. Now tap your toe to the beat. Tap your foot. Cool. Now move your shoulders back and forth to the beat. Now move your hips back and forth. You're dancing. Yeah. That's all there is to it. It's really that easy. And then so I showed him a few moves, and a man doesn't have to be a good dancer. All he has to do is get out there. That's it. He just has to be decent. Decent is plenty good enough. At the end of the night, he was dancing.
Yeah. Like I was saying, you could, if you feel like you're the girl you're taking out to dance is better than you, just say, hey, can you help me practice? She'll be more than happy. She'll be more than happy.
That happened at a country bar.
Yeah. So, and also I would say, guys, forgive yourselves. It's not your fault that dating is this hard nowadays. It's not your fault. You didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this, but you got to do something, you cannot just also like, because there's like guys, we like to blame ourselves for our failures. We're like, oh, some girl rejected me. I am, I'm a loser, or I don't know what to do. I give up, like, hey, listen, girls reject guys for no reason all the time. Sometimes they don't know what they're doing. It's not you. No matter how much you want it to be, some girls just reject you for no reason, for no good reason. Sometimes, there are times where, not to get too crass, right, there that I take home and I rock their world. Like, we have to change the sheets and everything, right? And then I never see them again, right? And there are girls that I don't rock their world, and they text me all day the next day, right? You need to let them. The relationship is their problem. If they want to be with you, they'll come, right? They will come. If they don't, they don't. You cannot control the universe. Let things happen. Do the best you can. Forgive yourself for the things that you messed up on, because you're not perfect. You messed up. No one asked for this, but at the same time, you have to take a little bit of action, and a little bit is better than nothing. So, realize too that there's plenty of guys that want to help you, and plenty of guys that want to take your money in this stuff, right? My membership will be up later this week, $5 a month on YouTube, guys, and I probably will set up a video. I think on Wednesdays, a private video, and we'll talk about all your guys' problems with women and dating, and I'll give you my latest hack or my latest idea and all that stuff. And it's only $5, right? Wow, grifter, and then there's people that are selling thousands of dollar courses, so you can talk to models. It's your money. You do whatever you want with it. Just be careful out there. A lot of guys mean well, and a lot of guys don't. I appreciate every dollar that you guys give me. I don't need it. I only need it because it's my time. Like, I want to get paid for my time, and I think I have a lot to offer. And number two, no one cares if you strike out with a woman, right? When you guys go to a bar, like, Roman, have you ever seen a guy leave a bar without the girl, and you're just like, what a loser? You're just like, you don't even care. You're like, whatever.
I root for the guy if he's cool.
Yeah. And you know who else is rooting for you too? The bartenders.
Oh yeah.
Every time, when the bartenders see you with a cute girl and you look like, check this out. This is what I do, right? The bar down the street where I live, right? When I ever have a date, I am super gentleman. I always tip good because I like my bartenders and they treat me well. But I'm super gentlemanly. I open the door for her. I hold her hand. I pull a chair out, right? And they know the girl bartenders see that, and they're just like, oh. And then I always get free shots. Um, they treat me well. We joke around. They give me good suggestions for drinks and all that stuff. And the girl feels like, wow, this guy's like, super social, and like he knows the place and all that stuff. And there's classy people around. And it's like that's that's what those are the things that I want to share with you guys. And I'm sure, Roman, you have plenty to share too, in terms of like, these little tidbits of knowledge that can help you. I can't tell you getting a Ferrari is going to get you girls, because I don't have a Ferrari, right? But if that's what you think, it's going to take you 20 years of grinding if you're not rich to get to that point. Most likely. If you
The
want to
thing
wait
is,
20 years, go ahead by all means.
anything will get you girls. It's if you know what you're doing. You could
Yeah.
walk your dog and get girls. You could know how to cook and get girls. And I teach artist game because that's what I know now. So
Yeah.
that's the thing is that dance can get your girls. You just have to get out there and take your shots. And the difference between a guy who's successful and who's not is just numbers.
Yeah.
You agree with me, Nuke?
Yeah, Babe Ruth
Yeah,
had
it's numbers.
has a record for most strikeouts.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it's not easy. Like, trust me, I had a huge ego, but like, it takes a long time to internalize that women don't reject you; they reject the presentation of you, right?
Mhm.
A lot of women, like especially online, you won't get a match for a long time, maybe 3 days, no matches or stuff like that, right? But that same girl will see you in person dancing, playing piano, talking in public, just the way you walk, the way you smell, and she will be like, "Oh, I hope he approaches me." And that's the mentality you have to have. She's not That's why dating apps don't take soft rejection from dating apps so seriously, right? It's not real. Um, the only thing you should be focused on is trying to preserve your dignity as much as you can. Try that thin line between not having an ego and dignity. Try to like find where that's at for you. Like, for example, for me, if I get rejected for dancing with the girl and then she's dancing with someone else 5 minutes later, I'm not asking her to dance for the rest of the night. Like, you don't want to dance with me, I'm not gonna. And if you come me for a dance, I'd be like, no, I'm tired, because it's more of like a, hey, like, you could have said, oh, I need a break too, like spare me, but no, you did. You said no, I'm good, right? So I'm just gonna do the same back to you. You didn't, It's just that's where my line is, and every guy has a line, but trust me, not going out and not talking to women is not a line. You
Yeah.
have to go out and you have to socialize. And guys too, like, if you need a break, if you just need a month off just to like, hey, I want to focus on my music, I want to focus on work, I want to focus on family, I want to spend more time with my family, or I just, I need a break from women. I'm too frustrated to deal with women right now. That's totally fine. I do that all the time too. Like, I take a week off or 2 weeks or something. So, because I get it, guys, women are very, like, a lot of women are very, it's not like, take out the dating thing, women are very uh a lot of women suck, just like dudes
Mhm.
suck. Like, people suck, and dealing with people that suck a lot will um wear you out. Like, I went to that dance thing, and then those women were pushing me and my date, two dancers on a dance floor, while my friend the DJ is playing music, and they were just standing in a circle not doing anything, and they were like harassing me, sexually harassing me, by the way, because she was using her butt to push me out the way, right? And that, it's not like in the moment I didn't care, but like looking back, I'm just like, that's so rude to me and my date, to the girl I was with. Like, that is one of the most rude things that anyone's ever done to me, ever. You know, Especially when it's the music of your culture, to have people just like not respect the space, you know, and to see that everyone else, people of all races, Indian, Vietnamese, black, white, mix, Dominican, everything was on the dance floor. Yet you're so important that you have to stand right there, and you think that because I exist, I deserve a space on the dance floor, just sit around and take up space. While people, I was dressed in a suit and she was in a dress, and you're in pants and a t-shirt, and you think you can come here and pull that crash shit on me. You know, that's not easy. You deal with people like that. You just don't want to go out for a week or two. You know, it's like, you know what? I'm still not in the mindset. You know, I need a break. You know, and that's okay, guys. And that's, you know, sometimes you just can't go out because you're just frustrated, and that's okay. Take a break. There's better things in life than going out to a bar or a club. Maybe you want to play music and stuff, but yeah. So like my question is to you, like, do you believe it's okay for guys to get frustrated once in a while? And what do you think is a healthy way to, you know, since you know you're definitely into the art stuff, what is a healthy way to deal with that for
Okay,
anything?
so it took me a long time to get over the one who got away,
Mm,
but because of her, I wrote some of my best music I've ever written. So that's the thing is that the joke on Twitter is that when
excuse me.
bless you,
Yeah,
when a girl gets her heart broken, she eats a tub of ice cream. When a guy gets his heart broken, he writes masterpiece.
yeah.
And
The universe delivers another masterpiece or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Go out there and write your masterpiece. You got your
Mhm.
heart broken. That's great. That's a good thing. A guy who's never had his heart broken doesn't have that much character.
Yeah.
So, and you know,
Boring.
the most creative guys you'll ever meet did not have the best lives.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you could be an artist and be a boring person and have an easy life. You know,
Yeah.
like those people who were kids of the bulldozer parents. I don't think they'll be very good artists because they're not going to take the risks and they're not going to
Mhm.
live enough to be a good artist. Like you see the really good writers, those guys have lived.
They were adventurers. They would adventure.
Yeah, yeah, they're
They
big
would
time
sail the
adventurers.
seas, climb the mountains, go to the
Hmm.
wars. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, writing would be the next thing I get into. Want to start
Mm.
writing. So what are some tips for me as someone who's written before, actually written? What are some tips for me for writing that you have,
Right.
or for anyone in the audience, in the chat that would want to get into writing?
Yeah, right. Just make it a
All right.
habit every single day. Write a lot of stuff. I've written literally hundreds of short stories, and I have about 8 of them online because most of them are just stupid. But you have to get those. Like Robert Rodriguez, the film director. He did Dust Till Dawn. He did Desperado. He did El
Mhm.
Mariachi. That
Yeah.
guy. He said everybody has 6 bad movies in them, but you still have to make them.
Mhm.
And a musician, everyone has 6 bad albums in them. Everyone has 6 bad books in them. Whatever, you still have to write them. You got to
Yeah.
get them out of the way.
Yeah. Like, first approach, salsa night. Your first
Hmm.
dance is gonna be, well, you're gonna be, your knees are gonna be locking up. You're gonna be like in your head. You're still gonna be thinking about work. You
Hmm.
know, you're still gonna be thinking about that girl from the other night that said no. But then third dance, you're gonna be smiling, laughing. The girl with you is gonna be like, "You're so good! Oh my god!" And and it happens. Like, get it out the way. Get your failures that you know are gonna happen. Get them out the way. Move on. You're gonna fail. You're gonna look dumb. Um, Especially when you start dating, you're gonna look dumb on the. But like, you know, there's gonna, what I call them a break, when the universe gives you an opportunity to shine. Right.
Hmm.
There's gonna be a gorgeous girl who for some reason is like into you, and she's just eating everything you're saying up, and you're gonna have a good time. And then, you know what's gonna be going through a lot of guys' head is like, wow, like, you know, all this time I've been on the internet analyzing what I should do, what I should not do, how women are, if they'll cheat or not. And here I am in front of a beautiful girl. And none of that shit matters right now. And I'm like, really? Really, it doesn't matter. Crazy how that works. Because when you're out there living life, you're not thinking these far off things like, oh, she's gonna cheat on me. You know, when you got an Asian with big titties in front of you, you're living life. You feel alive. You feel alive. You know, when you're learning a difficult piece on piano, and it's coming together, you're feeling alive. You know, and when dating is, there's a different tool sets and there's different things you can pull out of your ass and things, right? Piano is similar, where like you learn a piece here and you learn this technique here and you're putting them together. You're like, oh, I'm gonna learn the chorus today because it's a little easier because I'm tired, right? And one day you're like, okay, I gotta learn this part. It's hard. I'm gonna sit down and learn it. And then one day you're gonna start slowly joining the song together, and then your transitions suck. You're like, oh. And then one day you're just gonna like wake up tired on a Sunday morning, like, I got a stupid song. And then you're gonna be like, oh, wait, hold on. Hey, I'm actually doing it. You know, I messed up a little bit, but that's how dating is. Like, first date, you're gonna have nothing to talk about. Third girl, you're gonna be like, you know, you're gonna finally learn to look in her eyes and not hurt her cleavage. Like, it comes together, and then one day you're gonna have a gorgeous gal who 30 minutes in is gonna start looking around and say, hey, do you live around here, dude? And you're gonna remember my words and just like, there you go. All you got to do now is walk to your apartment. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's all you got to do. And then all this trash about like dating in the abstract will go out the window, and you'll be able to go to sleep knowing that all it took was getting out of your head and living in the moment. So Roman, some closing statements, and please tell us where we can find your book. And
so my name is Roman Riva. My book is on Amazon, and so far it's only on Amazon. I haven't put it on Barnes & Noble yet.
Yeah.
So get it there. I'm Opium Tales 2 on Twitter because Opium Tales got banned, and I'm not. They never told me why, but it's gone. So I'm just Opium Tales 2. I also have opiumtales.com, and I haven't really done much with that blog recently. It has like over 110,000 views, but it's just sitting there. So I'm mostly on Twitter, and pick up my book. It's you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I got I can't open it because it's got a lot of nudity in it, but it teaches
trying to find
you
it on Amazon.
Yeah.
How do I find it on Amazon?
Roman Riva. Just do search for Roman Riva, Dork to Pimp Daddy. Okay. And the subtitle is How to Go from Drawing Stick Figures to Being So Pimp That Beautiful Women Want to Pose Nude for You. And that's not a joke. You will have women ask you when you get really good, because women love being drawn. They love being painted. They like being center of attention. Anything that can make them look good, they want.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this might be before a lot of your time, but there's a guy named Goldman who was using Photographer Game.
Oh, and yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, he had a successful book because girls like being photographed. But, you know, now photography, I think that art is even better because not that many people, anybody could have a camera, but not that many people could actually draw. But this teaches you, it really isn't that hard. Yes. Oh, thank you. That's it. And someone said salsa and bachata are fun. I mean. Yeah, RC, yes. Yeah, salsa is awesome. I never took lessons. My wife did. Yeah. So I was just following exactly what she was doing. And it's not that hard if you're taking swing lessons. I highly recommend swing. Because if you learn swing, you learn so many different moves that you can kind of wing everything else.
Yeah. I believe that every guy should learn some kind of dance. Like if you're in the South, two-step, you know, pretty good thing to learn. If you like Latinas, then you're gonna have to learn, dude, flat out. You know, even if the Latinas don't dance, you got like there's no way around it, guys. Like I see that a lot of guys like Latinas and they're like they don't want to learn Spanish, they don't want to learn anything about Latin culture, and they think that dancing is gay. I'm like, well, good luck, dude. Good luck. You're gonna get Americanized Latinas, which is basically American women, which is the magic. It loses the magic of Latinas, right? If you like Asian women, you know you're gonna have to learn how to talk to Asian women a certain way and tailor your approach, which I've made a video about that, right? Stop thinking that you ain't shit and that's okay. You know, you live your life and it's okay to not matter that much. It's don't listen to people that you have to be some kind of alpha where you're like everything you say matters, and you have to have like ultimate power over the universe. You don't. So live your life and don't worry about it. You're gonna be okay. I promise. So, any final statements, Roman, before we get out of here?
Yeah. Also, believe in yourself.
Mm,
It's really powerful to believe in yourself. I'm 5'3", yet I've always been confident. And it's because I've always believed in myself.
yeah. And yeah, you gotta believe in yourself and realize that the world isn't rejecting you; they're rejecting the presentation of you. So,
Yep.
yeah. All right. Thank you, Roman, for coming on, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
The link for his book is in the chat, guys. Go ahead and check it out. I'll get my copy here soon. I got to read Thor's book, and I got to read all the homies' books. Um,
Same.
yeah. And maybe I'll put my drawing skills to the test one day and see I'll show you what I got. But like, yeah. So thanks for coming on, man, and hope to see you around on Twitter. And support my. Thank you for supporting my shit posting. It is getting a lot of people pissed off and angry. So that's the important
Oh,
thing.
yeah. We love it. The people who love you really love you. So that's even better.
Yeah, I'm having a blast. I just like, I've been posting on Twitter for 10 years, right?
Mm,
So it isn't something I learned the other day, but I just know I understand where people are coming from. That's why I can do this. I know exactly where they're coming from. I know how to how to mess with people, and I know how to explain to people in a way that'll either hurt them or help them. And if
mm.
you know, but there is some things that I don't like to do. Like recently, I stumbled upon eating disorder Twitter, and I'm just like, you know what? I should back
Yeah.
out of this one.
Yeah. Don't
Because
go there.
yeah, because like I told somebody on the internet, hey, go to the gym, right?
Mm,
You
I
shouldn't go
saw that.
like I don't care if my wife looks like that, right? But I'm not attracted to it. Like I'm not gonna kick her out and divorce her over that, but I'm gonna encourage her to eat better, because I love my wife. If you love somebody, you want them to be healthy. It makes sense. Um, so I just said, yeah, that's not, go to the gym. It literally is something that will add years to your life and you'll live happier. And I thought I was just gonna get the lazy fat people mad. It was actually eating disorder Twitter, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna back out of this one because those people are deeply troubled. So,
Yeah. You can't
so
fix them.
yeah, and um they probably have a lot of things. They have a lot of issues. So I don't. It doesn't make me feel good to punch down on people like that.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. It's fun. So guys, don't worry. The Twitter battles continue. It's. I'm not trying to change anyone or anything. I'm just trying to get more followers, shovel into my channel, and build my brand and spread the message. I don't even make that much money from this. So, anyways, thank you, Roman, for being here. You guys, you already know where his book is. His handle on Twitter, and we hope to see more of you on Twitter and here. So, thanks, Roman.
Okay, thank you.
All right.